This is the Italian Citizenship Podcast, hosted by Marco Permunian and Rafael Di Furia. Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the Italian Citizenship Podcast, presented by ItaliancitizenshipAssistance.com. Of course, as always, we are back here with Italian attorney Marco Permunian. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Today, we wanted to have a discussion about Jure Sanguinis versus Jus Soli, birthright citizenship versus bloodright citizenship through descent. And so that's something that works a little bit differently in Italy than it does in some other parts of the world, especially if you compare it to the US, where the system is kind of a combination of the two. But also, we have in the past done a comparison between citizenship by naturalization and citizenship through descent, because there's a difference between all of these. Anyway, where would maybe be the best place to explain the very beginning of the difference between these two citizenships?
Well, as you just said, citizenship by descent means that in that specific country, you are considered a citizen of that country because one or both your parents are citizens of that country at the time of your birth, regardless of where you were born. And that's the system that we have in place in Italy. So in Italy, you don't become a citizen of Italy by being born in Italy. There are talks about implementing also the Jus Soli principle in Italy, and we can talk about that in a second. But as of this moment in time, you only become an Italian citizen by being born to an Italian citizen, at least one of your parents, who is an Italian citizen at the time in which you were born. And this system is in place in many other European countries, with the exception of the UK, which is, by the way, no longer a European country as of right now. But the UK adopts the same system that the US adopts, and many other countries in America, meaning you become a citizen of that country because you were born in that country, not because your parents are citizens of those countries. In other words, you are a citizen of the US just because you were born in the US, regardless of the nationality of your parents at the time of your birth. So if two foreign citizens have a child in the US, that child becomes an American citizen, even if none of the parents is an American citizen when the child is born. Of course, even in the countries where the Jus Soli is the main principle, they have the Jure Sanguinis principle as an exception to the main rule. That happens in the US as well. For example, if you're born outside of the US to US citizens, upon registration of your birth certificate, you become a US citizen.
So I think maybe just one thing to clarify quickly. This is something I've actually brought you onto my channel to talk about briefly when this discussion has come up a little bit more in the news a while back. But just to clarify the point that you mentioned about that they are considering to introduce Jus Soli in Italy. If this were to happen, one, do you think it's likely that this would happen? Or two, would this potentially affect individuals who are considering applying for citizenship via Jure Sanguinis, or the average person born in Italy who gets their citizenship that way?
Regarding the first question, of course, you never know. They may or may not introduce this principle. In my personal opinion, it's unlikely. Now, it's just a portion of the parliament and of the political parties which are in favor of introducing this principle. But of course, there is like a vast majority of other political parties that are against it. Also, there have been talks to introduce this principle for years now. So it's not something new. People have been talking and politicians have been talking about this for years. So I don't believe that at this moment in time, this is a priority. And also because this would just be a benefit for basically all of the immigrants that are born in Italy to parents who emigrated from Italy to Italy from other countries, and this kind of answers your second question. But the point is, we have a very large group of, like a very large political party, the Lega, which is against facilitating citizenship for immigrants or children of immigrants. So there is a very strong opposition, and I don't believe that this is a priority for the parliament at this moment in time. There are other things that in my opinion can be considered a priority. Now, I said that this kind of answers your second question, which means that this law could potentially be introduced to facilitate the children of immigrants who emigrate from other countries to Italy. We have large emigrations from Albania or Romania or the Middle East, people that come from those countries and settle in Italy. So it would be basically facilitating the acquisition of citizenship for the children of those immigrants. And this would be just regarding the children of immigrants who emigrate to Italy right now. So to answer your final question, this would not affect the process of the application for citizenship Jure Sanguinis by people who have already acquired their Italian citizenship at birth, because their citizenship was passed from one generation to the other, from their great-grandfather to their grandfather, to their father, and to themselves. So for those people, this principle and the potential introduction of this principle in the Italian law is absolutely not relevant, and there are two completely separate things that have little to nothing to do with each other.
I see. And so, okay, I'm really glad that we were able to cover that briefly, because I know that is something that when in the online communities, especially for people who are of Italian descent, thinking about getting Italian citizenship and so on, or at least claiming their Italian citizenship, that discussion becomes concerning for many people. So I'm very grateful that we were able to briefly cover that topic. But when it comes to Jure Sanguinis versus Jus Soli, what are some other aspects that are important for people to understand?
Okay, so we have clarified that as of this moment in time, there is no Jus Soli in Italy, that even if it were to be introduced in the future, it would not affect in any way the possibility for people to apply for citizenship Jure Sanguinis. Having said that, I believe that what people really want to know is, especially our American audience who maybe have no Italian ancestry, and what they want to know is they were born in Italy, and how can they become Italian citizens? Or actually the question that they normally ask is, am I an Italian citizen just because I was born in Italy? Maybe my parents were traveling to Italy or temporarily residing in Italy, or very often they were in the military and they were stationed in Italy. So quite a few people, they ask me, I have no Italian ancestry. So nobody in my family is Italian, but I was born in Italy for whatever reason. Am I an Italian citizen? And we said just a moment ago that the answer is no, because there is no Jus Soli in Italy. So the person born in Italy to foreign parents is not an Italian citizen just because they were born in Italy. However, the Italian law on citizenship does facilitate the process of acquisition of Italian citizenship for those people who were born in Italy to foreign parents. Meaning, these people who are normally now living abroad because they were born in Italy and then they relocated back to their parents' country of origin. Now, those people can acquire Italian citizenship by relocating to Italy and living and residing in Italy legally for 3 years. So after 3 years of full-time residency in Italy, they can petition for Italian citizenship through naturalization. So by residency, which is a very important facilitation if you think that normally 10 years are required for people to become Italian citizens through residency. So normally people have to reside in Italy for 10 years before they're able to apply for citizenship through residency. But those people who were born in Italy to foreign parents, if they relocate back to Italy, they can stay in Italy for 3 years, and then they can start the citizenship acquisition process.
So that's interesting. So if the child was born here, they go abroad and then come back, then it's that 3-year process, even if parents weren't Italian citizens. But what if the child and their parents, or just the child, has been in Italy since birth and maybe never left the country at all?
That's a different scenario, and it's more common among, like the people who maybe emigrated from the countries that we were talking about at the beginning, like people from Albania or Romania that emigrated to Italy, and they had their children in Italy, and those children were born and raised in Italy, and they've lived in Italy their whole life. And for those children, as soon as they turn 18, the law gives them the ability to choose to become Italian citizens. So in the case of those children, the process is very easy. It's a process that is meant to be easy, and that the law offers to those children who were born in Italy and lived in Italy their whole life, so until they turn 18. From when they turn 18, they have 1 year to decide if they want to become Italian citizens, and if they do decide, they can go through the process and easily get Italian citizenship through the town hall. On the other hand, in the scenario which we talked about before, meaning somebody who was born in Italy to foreign parents and then went back to their country of origin and now wants to apply for Italian citizenship by residency through that 3 years facilitated process that we talked about, they would be filing their application through the Italian Ministry of Interior, which is the same application process for someone who wants to apply for citizenship through residency after the 10 years residency, or for someone who wants to apply for citizenship through marriage. So they're two very different processes.
When it comes to applying for citizenship as somebody who was born here and going through that process of naturalization, are there any hiccups or anything that a person may have to be concerned about that may prevent them, like if they have a criminal record or anything along those lines, that maybe something has happened, or I don't even know all the possibilities, but is there something that could preclude somebody from getting Italian citizenship?
For those people who were born in Italy and resided in Italy from the time of their birth to the age of 18, they need to apply for citizenship through the comune, so the town hall. And the documents required are mainly aimed at proving that that person resided in Italy without interruptions from the birth to the age of 18. So basically what you have to show is documentation demonstrating that you have been residing in Italy for the 18 years that are basically necessary for you to be entitled to Italian citizenship. You can also submit documents from each town where you've lived since your birth, showing that you've been registered with the population of people residing in one or multiple towns, and that there have been no interruptions. On the other hand, those people who were born in Italy and who left Italy, and now they want to apply or claim citizenship through residency, and who have to reside in Italy for 3 years full time, they need a visa to be able to enter Italy and reside in Italy for the 3 years. They need to pass a language test. They need a criminal background check, actually multiple criminal background checks if they are from the US, so from the FBI and the single states where they have been resided since when they went back to the US. So there are two different processes, and yes, there are several requirements that need to be met. So to answer your question, yes, a criminal background check could potentially hold somebody back, as well as the illegal stay in Italy. Of course, we're talking about a legal residency in Italy. So if you're in Italy illegally, that will prevent you from using this specific type of process.
Well, it's all fascinating, and I think this might be a great place to round out the episode. So thank you so much again, Marco, for making yourself available for another episode of the Italian Citizenship Podcast. But if anybody is needing any help with this process or any other process to get Italian citizenship, how can they contact you and your team?
People can contact us through our website, Italiancitizenship.assistance.com. or give us a call. The number is on the website.
Well, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much again. And of course, if you are interested in more content like this about Italian citizenship, be sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel as well as the audio only podcast. But also the benefit of being subscribed to the YouTube channel is that you are automatically subscribed to the Italian Real Estate Podcast, a great source of information if you are interested in moving to Italy beyond just the citizenship status. And also, if you're interested in more about life in Italy, living in Italy as an Italian dual citizen, be sure to come over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rafael Di Furia, where I show this country that we live in and talk a lot about these subjects that relate to what is so important about making a life for yourself in this beautiful country. You can find it through rafaeldifuria.com or through my audio-only podcast, Not Your Average Globetrotter. Again, we have been here, though, with Marco Permunian from Italiancitizenshipassistance.com. I'm Rafael Di Furia, and we will see you all next time. Later.
Thank you.